Good morning, everyone. How's it going, you guys? What's up? Figuring this thing out. I wanted to do a dry run and see how it goes. Kind of a test run. Get the technical difficulties figured out. But yeah, you guys, let me know in the chat if you can see my trading view, see my screen, and I'll kind of walk you guys through what I am seeing for this morning. Cool. Looks like you guys can see. Man, crazy morning. Did anyone take any trades during that news? I'll let you guys kind of know my thoughts. Honestly, I'm a little bit stumped. I'm going to be patient when market opens. A lot of times, I will trade the reversal of the news. So if news dumps it, then a lot of times it'll reverse and go back up, or vice versa. Today it pumped it. A lot of times it'll reverse at least that candle, and it didn't do that. And then also a lot of times, like if there's I'm Central Standard Time, if there's a 7:30 news event, then at market open at 8:30, it'll like continue in that same direction. So if news pumped it, then market open, it'll pump it. So I'm kind of wondering if it'll do that. But again, it never retraced this news candle. So I'm curious to see how the market opens. So this is kind of how I set up my charts in the morning and what I'm looking at. I'll take this off. I did have a London VWAP set up. This green VWAP is anchored from yesterday's high day, so we can remove that. This white anchored VWAP is from yesterday's New York open. And then I have different levels. So I have previous day high, value area high, point of control, value area low, and then yesterday's low is way down here. And then I do mark off Asia low, Asia high, London low, and London high. London high, this is an old, I marked it a couple hours ago, so it's obviously up here now. We're continuing to go higher. But that helps me kind of see liquidity grab areas. So like when the market opens, if it, jumps down to this London low and it has a good bounce off of it, that could be a good long opportunity. Same thing up here. If it has a strong reaction at value area high or previous day high and rejects, that could be a short opportunity. That's kind of how I use these levels. But I try my best to wait for the reaction and be patient on them. My value areas, I do it on the 1 minute. So I have this SVP indicator that I'll turn on. And then I scroll over to yesterday and mark it from there. So there's a value area high, point of control, value area low. I just draw my lines and then I turn the indicator off so it's out of the way. So these gray shaded areas, if you guys have watched any of my YouTube videos, you've heard me talk about them before. But these are basically support and resistance areas. They're areas of high volume that I mark off from the higher time frames. like the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 30-minute. It kind of depends on what levels I'm seeing. But price tends to want to return to areas of high volume. So I use this visible range volume profile over here. And if there's a high volume node, I'll mark it off. So you can see right now it's kind of in this this area right here. It's chopping around in here. So I'll be curious to see if it rejects at this, which it looks like it is right now, although market's opening, so you never know. Or if it holds a support and goes higher. A lot of times I'll keep this visible range volume profile on the charts. I don't use it a whole lot during the session that I'm trading. Every once in a while I'll look at it. If it's a good trending day, it can be helpful to see where it might bounce. But if it's a choppy day, then a lot of times the volume profile is just one big like backwards C, and there's not a whole lot of information that you can get from it on the lower time frames. Where are you guys at? Tell me in the chat. Where do you guys live? I'm in the Houston area, Texas. New York. We have totally different climates. I like hot weather. I love summertime. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely uncomfortably hot sometimes. And I like to be inside with the AC, but I love summertime. Being able to like go to the beach, to the water park, to the river. That's my favorite time of year. I don't like being cold at all. I wouldn't survive in New York. England, awesome. What time is it for you right now? I guess you're trading in the afternoon. $95 degrees this early in the year in New York. That's pretty hot. That's what it is for us too, but I'm in Houston, so it's also like 90% humidity. It feels like walking around in a sauna when you're outside. Okay, yeah, Susie, it is afternoon for you. Cool. All right, we got a couple minutes. See how this market opens. Like I said, I'm totally curious. A lot of times news candles will retrace. It never did that. And then at the open, at least in my experience, I haven't like looked at Edgeful or any specific stats, but it tends to go in the same direction as the news candle. So if that's the case, then it's gonna go up, but we shall see. I try to be patient at the open and not take immediate trades. Wait for that first at least 10 minutes, if not 15 minutes or longer. Wait for the opening range. Wait for the New York VWAP to kind of get some data to go off of that. Unless there's something that's like stupidly obvious, Like if it just shoots up to previous day high and like rejects really fast within the first couple minutes, something that's obvious like that, then I might take a trade. But trying to be patient. I think having these streams and like having people watch and hold me accountable will probably help too. Take fewer degen trades, that's the goal. I do have my Top One Futures accounts that I'll be trading with you guys. I have 2 instant funding accounts that I'm going to be copy trading. So we'll see how that goes today. All right, market is open. So I do use anchored VWAP, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that on the 8:30 candle. I like to color code them. Light blue is my New York anchored VWAP color. Man, this is kind of a slow open. Usually it like shoots up somewhere. It's only moved like 15 points so far. It is at the top of this high volume range that I have, but obviously that's on a higher time frame, so it's not like a perfect line. It's just a region to watch out for. I don't know if any of you guys use the point of control and value area high and low, but marking them off from the day before, the previous day, those tend to be good regions to watch out for. I took off that London high because that doesn't really matter right now. I usually start the day with a lot of lines and then start to delete them as they don't really matter anymore. Susie, you started marking up the session volume profile from previous day. How has that been working for you? Do you find that it's helpful in your trading? I'm going to keep these 15-minute opening range high and low lines on here. I know there are indicators that do that, but I don't know. I think, one, I don't trust the indicator because, if I don't have the settings right, then I might be looking at the wrong lines. But also it keeps me busy. It gives me something to do within the first couple minutes of the open, so I'm not like degenning into a trade. I have to continue moving my lines as it moves around. Good morning, Johnny. What's up? Is it just me, or is this a sleepy open that's not doing much? After that big news event, I would have expected more volatility. Starting to get a little selling pressure. Still nothing super convincing. Your FOMO is up, your funded account is down. FOMO from what? Missing the pump after the news event or what? I've taken 2 trades so far today. I took one last night, pretty much close to market open, right around 5:30 p.m. Central, I think. I'll walk you guys through that in a little bit. That was a winning trade, and then I took one early this morning that was a loss. So I'll walk you through that in a little bit too, after we watch this market open. So in one of my accounts, I'm locked out, hit my profit target, and the other one, I am down. Not much though. Good morning, Mad Moxie. What's up? I actually started a women's only trading Discord group a couple weeks ago with some trading female friends, and Mad Moxie I think is in that group. I'll post the link in the chat here in a little bit. The goal though was just to, there's something special when females get together, empowering each other, just staying positive, like supporting each other. That's the goal. And to kind of make it a safe space too. That way, if you're a beginner, you're new to trading, you can be transparent and share your struggles. And not feel like you need to be competing with all the men that have years of experience and like massive P&Ls. Clear your head, Johnny. Live to fight another day. Starting to head back above that anchored New York VWAP. Still early though. I don't like to use that as like a convincing reason to long or short it when it's this early. There's only a couple minutes of data to go off of. So that's the 1 minute. Looking at the 5 minute, there's nothing really convincing. Hasn't gone to grab any areas of liquidity. It's not going above or below any certain resistance points. Just kind of chopping around. It is above yesterday's anchored VWAP, which is this white line. It's above the overnight session VWAP. So looking for longs, I guess, at this point until proven otherwise. It is above the point of control. It could potentially come up here to this value area high and reject. That's good, Johnny. I've learned that I definitely need to set some, or I don't need to. I have started to set some guardrails for myself, and that has helped a lot. Because if I rely on myself to like close my computer, walk away, that definitely leads to tilt moments. Because I think I'm always smarter than the market, and I can get it back or whatever. But setting hard lockout barriers, like this is my personal daily loss limit, the account is going to lock if I hit that. That's been really helpful. I haven't been blowing any accounts lately, which is good. We're about 9 minutes into the open. Hasn't really hit any levels that I'm interested in, so still kind of just watching at this point. I'll tell you where my head's at. I'm kind of thinking if it hits the value area high and rejects, I'd be interested in a short, or the previous day high and rejects, I'd be interested in a short. But I'll also tell you, like, in the past, I've gotten in trouble trying to short the top. So I want to be careful of that. Because we've been bullish since that news release. So I think if I do end up shorting it, I'm going to keep my stop loss tight, keep my sizing low. The 4-hour volume profile? Like the visible range volume profile, or which volume profile? When I'm marking off these gray shaded areas, I use the visible range volume profile. And yeah, I do on the 4-hour sometimes. I'll tell you so I zoom out to like the 4-hour if we're in a trending market and I need to go back further to find some price action that actually shows volume in that area. But if we've been like chopping around in a couple 100-point range and I can see all of it in a 30-minute or a 1-hour, then that's usually where I'll stay. I zoom out further if I need more data. We got a couple more minutes until this 15-minute range has been set. Yeah, I only use TradingView. Well, TradingView and then Project X or whatever platform I'm on. But no, I don't know what volume profile you were talking about. Kind of just a slow grind up so far. So yeah, it looks like longs could be the play. I wouldn't want to get in here, wait for a pullback. Could potentially pull back to the top of this gray shaded area, which also is in line with the New York anchored VWAP. That could be a potential. Still just kind of moving slow. I know we had that 7:30 Central news release, 8:30 Eastern. Is there anything else coming later today? I didn't look. Gotta pull up my financial juice. If I remember right, we had a couple of speakers coming out, or maybe that was yesterday, I don't remember. Nope, that was it. Everything was at 8:30 Eastern. I guess we're in the clear. Until Trump tweets something, right? Have any of you guys taken any trades? Getting into this slow grind long? I haven't seen any good entries for long, so I'm not taking anything yet. I like to use the risk to reward tool to kind of see where I'd be at. So, I mean, I'd have to put my stop loss at that range low. That's a 68 point stop. I'm not interested in that because I feel like I would want to take profit somewhere up here at like yesterday's high. And that's barely over a 1-to-1 risk to reward. That's not great. I'd like to see a pullback first if I'm going to take a long. Or at least some momentum. Like, I'm okay with momentum trades too. But I feel like if I was to get in long here, there wouldn't be momentum to like get a pop. It would just be a slow grind up, and I don't want to do that. Yep, I'm with you, Susie. Waiting for a pullback. That was a really short Zoom call, G-Man. Like 15 minutes. I like those kind of meetings. Don't waste time, just get it done. So still kind of stuck in that slow grind up. Susie and I are on the same page, hoping for a pullback to get in long. Kind of a pullback area I'd be looking at is around here, like 808, 807, something like that. Or, like I was saying a couple minutes ago, if like sellers just show up and there's a strong rejection off of this region right here, like value area high or previous day high, then we could potentially look for shorts. Ah, cool. Just a little morning huddle with the team. What do you do at the hospital? So we've broken out of the top of this 15-minute range. I do like orb plays, like breakout retest or a failure to the upside and take a short down to the downside. There's just not a whole lot of momentum right now. I feel like 15-minute orb plays are better when price is like moving. Because for me, when I trade those, I like to just get a quick pop, like a little scalp and get out. And it's not doing that right now. It is close to that value area high and that high volume area that I have marked off from a couple weeks ago. So that's kind of what I was talking about in the beginning, potential short play. Risk to reward on that is pretty good right now if we go down to the bottom of the range. 23 point stop. Let's see how this plays out. I'm not in anything right now, just kind of looking. I do have my Top 1 Futures account pulled up here, so if I do take a trade, I'll show you guys. What are you guys thinking? What are you leaning towards? Break out of the 15-minute range high? Rejection? What are your thoughts? There's a little pop. We're getting something. Again, though, if we're going to go long, I'd like to see a bigger pullback. Stop loss would have to be pretty low. I don't like the risk to reward on that one. Yep, I'm seeing that too. It's a break of the 15-minute high. The reason I'm not taking it though is there's no momentum behind it. And if I did get in long here, my stop would, I would want to put it down like below the New York anchored VWAP. And then I would go up to previous day high. I don't like that risk. Yeah. I'm with you, Susie. Being patient, waiting for a little more info. Kind of thinking it's going to reject up here just because it's not going, you know? I haven't even looked at Bookmap. It's not really convincing in either direction. There's quite a few orders up at 900. There's also a pretty good amount down at like 770. I'm going to take a quick short, you guys. I feel like it's rejecting this 15-minute high. If it bounces off of VWAP, I'll get out. But it might go back down to the range low. Let's see what I can get out of it. I just like the risk to reward on it. I have a really clear stop. It's also rejecting this value area high and this area of high volume. So what's my entry? 841. Let's see. Put my stop loss up there above the previous high. And then what I'm looking for is if we're going for longs and we have a good reaction off of this VWAP, then I'll close it real quick. But if we break through it, we could go back to the 15-minute range low. This is kind of the same idea as like a initial balance failed auction in my mind. We broke out of that 15-minute range, but it was kind of weak. Got back under it. So we could potentially target that range low. We'll see how it goes. So similar to what I do with the 15-minute range, I also mark the 60-minute range. I like to do it all manually. Don't trust those indicators. Come on, do something. It's gonna put us all to sleep if it stays like this. I'm gonna go need some more coffee. If you guys getting any trades, let me know. I want to hear what y'all are doing. Tell me what you're thinking or what you're watching for. What's up, Luna? Are you still on your stream? You're like watching my stream while you're streaming on yours? All right, we're coming up to that New York anchored VWAP. Let's see. I'm gonna be careful with this here. Oh, it's just busting through it. I'll wait for the 1 minute closure and see how it reacts. If it does have a strong bounce, I'm gonna close my trade real quick. If it breaks below it convincingly with volume, which I see the volume down here, it's looking pretty good, I'll probably add to my position. Aw, Luna brought his crew. There we go, you guys. I'm gonna add and then move my stop down. That was a pretty convincing break. Oh gosh. Don't copy trade me. I got lucky. Just kidding. All right, so my position, my entry moved down to 826. So what I've been starting to do is trail out my position, take TPs along the way. I would like to have it go down to this 15-minute opening range low. But if it continues to get weak, I mean, I could go further, like point and control, yesterday's anchored VWAP, something like that. But I don't want to be greedy. I want to make sure to get some profit locked in. Come on, go back down. All right, looks like it's rejecting that anchored VWAP. I have been watching these volume bars down here more lately, and that's helping me with taking better trades with VWAP. Because if it has a break with confirmation from volume, it's usually a lot better trade. Otherwise, I can get chopped out and it'll kind of chop around and then go back up or whatever. Obviously, it just increases the likelihood. Nothing is guaranteed. I have a little cheer squad on my trade. Love it. Thanks, you guys. I'll come back on your show again, Luna. That was fun. I do like trading with someone. Because then it like, I don't know, I feel like when I'm sitting in my office by myself, then Some trades I take are like boredom trades. But when you have someone that you're like talking to and kind of bouncing ideas off of and distracting you from the boredom, it's easier to wait for those good setups. All right, got stopped out there. First loss for the day. That's all right. I sized down a little bit. Being nervous with you guys on the stream. We'll watch. We might get another entry. It's still rejecting that high. Could have been a bad spot to put my stop loss, honestly. Yeah, my anchored VWAP is at the opening candle. 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern on the 1 minute chart. Man, we're still rejecting that 15-minute opening range high. I still feel like shorts are the play right now. I feel like I had my stop loss in the wrong spot. That's all right. I'll wait for some more info, see where price goes. It's still kind of choppy, not a whole lot going on. Did any of you guys in the chat take a long off of that bounce off of New York VWAP, the retest? If you guys are in a trade, let me know. I want to know what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to take a long when there was that like big sell-off right there with volume, and we're getting more volume in the red. I'm still thinking shorts. Playing video games, that's a good way to distract yourself so you're not taking boredom trades. You just kind of set some alerts and wait for the setup. Just playing video games, locked out of your accounts. Watching the market though. It's kind of just chopping around on this 1 minute chart. Looking at the 5 minute. The 5 minute's still holding above that anchor VWAP. I don't like longs right now though. I think the thing that's stopping me from taking longs is just the risk to reward. Like, we're already at value area high, we're getting close to previous day high. and buyers just don't seem to be showing up. It's looking weak. All right, you guys, I'm getting back in short. Just taking a small position. But it's starting to hold. I mean, buyers aren't showing up to get back above VWAP. It retested that 15-minute opening range high, rejected again. I really think I should have stayed in my position. I just had my stop loss in the wrong spot. Could be wrong though. Really just chopping around. If I'm wrong this time, then I'm gonna give up on this idea. That's a rule I've set for myself. If I enter the same idea twice and lose both times, then I gotta give up on it. Because that's when I start to get tilted. I gotta wait for more information at that point. If you guys haven't already, go like the stream. This is my first time doing it. Show me some love. $8.15.50. That's where my entry is. Not looking great. Sellers are just not showing up, but buyers aren't either. Aw. Paul, thanks, Luna. Thanks for spreading the word, man. I'm really surprised with this market open. This is slow. What's our range so far? 83 points on the 15-minute, overall 95 points. For NASDAQ, that's little. I feel like usually it's like 200 points or something. Scott, your comment made me laugh, talking about your anchored VWAPs. How it's cool, the information is neat, but you still suck at trading. Isn't that the story of a lot of people's lives? I don't want to speak for everyone in the chat, but I feel that way sometimes. It's like my strategy's cool. I draw my lines in the right spot. Price reacted off of the level that I thought it was going to, but I got in the way, right? I sized up too big, or like put my stop loss in the wrong spot or whatever. I don't like this, you guys. Sellers are not wanting to get below this 805 level. We're only 39 minutes into the open. It's already like volume is dropping off. Are we heading into that Friday lull already? Yeah, super choppy. Yeah, like I said, if this one doesn't work out, then I'm gonna sit out for a while and get some more information. I could see it going either way because sellers are not breaking below this 805 level. It is holding above that anchored VWAP, although not convincingly. But I could also see it going short because it's continuing to reject this high right here. Let's see. Put an anchored VWAP at the high of the New York session. It is technically above it, but again, not convincingly. It's really kind of just chopping around it. Yeah, I feel like Scott being able to execute on or understand 20 different strategies but not actually execute it. I think I've watched like 1,500 hours of YouTube videos on so many different things. So I'm like, I see a trend line and a fair value gap and volume profile and like way too many confluences. But then sometimes that makes me see opposing strategies, you know, and then I start to second guess myself. Well, if we can break this 804 level, then I think my short position is in a good spot. But again, we're holding it. It just looks weak to me. Let's zoom out to the 5 minute, see if that gives any more info. Yeah, on the 5 minute, this dip got bought right back up and now we're going back down. So just choppy. Scott, how long have you been trading? Do we have any Bookmap users in here? I know G-Man watches it. I've kind of started to like lean away from it a little bit. Just because it, like, I don't know, it makes me trade to the high numbers sometimes. Like, for example, if I'm in a long and there's a whole bunch of orders like at 900, which there are right now, there's 400 orders at 900, then I'll like hold my position until 900 because I'm convinced that it's going to get there. I'm like, it has to, right? There's 400 orders up there. And then it makes me not look at actual price action, like support and resistance levels, and taking my profits at, you know, what my chart shows versus Bookmap. So I still look at it, but I try to remind myself that that number doesn't have to get hit right now. Like all those orders at 900, that could get hit at 3 o'clock this afternoon, you know? It could go down first and then go up. You never know. All right, I'm starting to feel like shorts are not the play, but I mean, then it could go back down and I'll feel like the shorts are the play. So basically what I'm saying is it's choppy and we don't know where it's going. But the reason I was going to say that is it's continuing to hold this level, and it's really continuing to hold the anchored VWAP. So it looks like we might get stopped out here. I feel you, Susie. It's very distracting and busy. My kids actually have seen me pull up Bookmap. I just look at it on YouTube because it's free. But they've seen me pull it up and they're like, what is that? What are all those balls? Like, what does that mean? It is pretty confusing. I haven't looked into options, Scott. I've heard other people talking about it. I think that would be too much for me to like try to learn something new when I'm still trying to figure out futures. Will I be streaming every day? That's the plan eventually. So next week I am going to be a guest on a couple people's streams. I'm going to be trading with Real Deal Futures on Tuesday. And then he streams on YouTube Live. And then on Wednesday, I'll be trading with ASFX, Austin Silvers. He has a private stream, so you guys won't be able to tune into that one. So I wanted to do kind of just a test run today to see how it goes. And then Monday, I don't have anything scheduled. I might do a Monday. I have the test or guest streams Tuesday, Wednesday. But after that, yeah, I'll probably be streaming at least Monday through Thursday. Maybe not Friday, just because looking at my trade journals, Fridays are usually my worst days, which you guys can see right now. I've lost one and I'm currently in a losing trade. But I do like the idea of streaming. I think it'll help me, like I've been starting to video journal my trades and post them on YouTube, and that has helped a lot with me just being able to like talk through my trades and my reasoning for taking them, and like verbalizing that, oh, that was a stupid trade, I shouldn't have taken that one. So I've definitely taken fewer dumb trades since starting to do that. So I think going live will increase the accountability a little bit more, like having my trades on screen and having you guys watch me. I won't just jump into a dumb trade or like oversize and have everyone watch me blow an account live. So it'll be good for the accountability and just have someone to chat with, talk to. Like I was saying earlier, like just sitting in your office for a couple of hours alone makes it easy to take boredom trades or, you know, stupid things like that. Aw, thanks, Susie. Johnny says, I only trust longs if we get and hold above 21,857. Or shorts if we hold below 809. If we don't get none of this, play the edges. Yep. I agree, Johnny. We're kind of just in an area where there's no convincing data either way. 857 and 809 are your levels. Where's that? So 857 is right about that initial balance high. So that would be a break above the 15-minute range high. And then 809, where's that? Yep, that's kind of that area that I've been talking about. Like if it breaks below this 805, 807, I think is what I said, then I feel like my short will be in a good spot. You're short. Why? Why, G-Man? What made you go short in this chop? What did you see? Susie, where are we connected from? I know I've seen your name around on like my YouTube channel and stuff. Are you in Joey Morgan's group? Or how do we get connected? So if we end up going short with this like big chop area, I feel like since it's pinching, whatever direction it goes, it's going to be a big move. So I feel like the bottom of this range is a good target, but I might even leave a runner to go a little bit further down to one of these VWAPs or point of control area. Potentially even retrace this news gap. That would be like leaving a Hail Mary long-term runner. But that's a big gap right there. G-Man got short because it keeps rejecting the 843 level. And we're under around that high of day, low of day, New York Anchor VWAP. Yeah. That, honestly, that's why I didn't want to go long in the first place. Like, even up here as we were breaking out of the 15-minute opening range high, I just didn't like the risk to reward. Like, where was it going to go? Like, value area high or previous day high would have been my targets. There wasn't a whole lot of room to run, so I didn't like it. All right, we're retesting that 805 level again. Let's see if it finally breaks it. So what I like to do is scale out of my positions and then, like I said, leave a runner for like the Hail Mary if it breaks out and goes and dumps. So I'll definitely take some at the 15-minute range low around 769. So buy one there. It stayed, that 805 level held. Yeah, I did go to the Tampa boot camp workshop. It was really good. I learned a lot. Yeah, I don't like how it keeps holding that level. I do know though that like if it keeps retesting it, the more it tests, the more likely it is to break. So if it keeps heading down there, it's gonna like drop big time at some point. Yeah. So gold and NQ are often inversely correlated, but not always. You're right, though. It is something to watch for, especially with this chop and like unknown price action. Yeah, the event was great for networking. I've met a lot of people that I still like chat with on Discord and share ideas with and stuff. It was also good just to like, I wouldn't say learn any new strategies or anything, but just kind of the mental side of trading and like kind of being able to find your own way. That was cool. And also seeing that it's real. I think that was one of my biggest takeaways. Because, you know, on YouTube, you see like all these crazy people with $100,000 a month P&Ls driving their Lamborghinis. And that just seems so like, I don't want to say fake because I know some of those people actually do have profits like that. But it doesn't seem achievable or realistic, I guess. So seeing like real people there who are making like real achievable money, you know, like $10,000 to $20,000 a month, something that in my brain I can accept a little bit better, and kind of learning how their trading works and like the struggles that they have and just the real life side of it. That was pretty cool. Man, it is like just flirting with this level. Do something. Like, I don't like sitting in trades like this forever where I don't feel like I'm in the right position or like maybe I'm gonna get stopped out. If it's trending in my direction, then I'll sit in a trade forever. I'll feel good about it. But when it just chops and I'm like, am I gonna get stopped out? It makes me second guess myself for sure. So I set my limit order for the first one at that opening range low. I'll set another one here at 737 because of these wicks to the left. And that is in the general area of yesterday's anchored VWAP and the overnight session VWAP. So I'll set one there at 737. There we go. I knew that once it broke, it was going to be huge. Finally. And that was pretty heavy. So we'll see how it reacts at that 15-minute opening range low. If there's a strong bounce, then I might get out, or at least move my stop loss closer. If it breaks out below that 15-minute opening range low, then we might be seeing some of these targets down here that I set, like that Hail Mary target of 682. So let's see how it reacts here. I'm gonna at least put my stop loss at break even. So far, we're holding that 15-minute opening range low, but it doesn't look like buyers are buying it up. Looks to me like it's going lower. Cool. Nice, Susie. What was your entry and what are you targeting? What are you seeing for targets? I'm going to put an anchored VWAP at the low of the day. Sometimes that's an area that it'll find support. Actually, you know what? I'm not, because the low of the day is where that overnight VWAP is. It's just been a slow grind up the whole day. So that would be here at that 730 level. Susie got in at 802. Nice. You got quick fingers. That was like an immediate break of that 805 level. You got in fast. What are you targeting? So I only took 3 contracts on this position. I've already taken profit on one of them at that 15-minute opening range low. If this stays heavy, I'm actually considering adding to my position on that 15-minute opening range low break. Yep. Yeah, I added. So new entry. Right about there. Targeting 730 area, yesterday's VWAP, yeah. Cool. G-Man got fully out. Let's see what happens. Buyers defended that 15-minute opening range low a little bit. Scaling out is, it's hard. I think I like it because it helps with FOMO. Like if it keeps trending in that direction and I'm right, it makes me feel better about catching more of the move. but it also, like, sometimes I can see where it makes me a little bit greedy. Because then if it bounces at that first level and I should have just taken full profit and the remaining amount comes back to my stop loss or break even or whatever, then I'm like, oh, I should have just taken it all there. I was being greedy. So it's an art. I haven't figured out the exact formula for it yet. Yeah, starting to get a strong buy up. It could come back to that anchored VWAP or even that 805 area and reject. If it doesn't, I'll close out the rest of the position. Yep. So yeah, the adding is actually something that I kind of messed up on this trade, as you guys saw. But it's something I'm trying to do based on a couple of books that I've read, is adding to winning positions. Like once I get more conviction that the trade is correct. So at this point, what I'm looking for is either a rejection of this New York anchored VWAP and a continuation lower, because we did have a small slight break of that 15-minute opening range low. So it could be like a break, retest, and come back. Or this is the anchored VWAP from the high a day, which is also in line with that New York anchored VWAP. If there's a convincing break above, then we could be going higher. Maybe grab some of those orders at 900 that are on Bookmap right now. The book, so it's a book that I read. I think it's The Best Loser Wins. G-Man, I know you've read that book. Is that the one where he talks about it? Adding to winning positions and just kind of going against the trend. Like the average person has the mindset of like, oh, the market dumped, so I'll be buying on sale. I should buy. And he talks about, no, everyone needs to go with the trend, like trade with the trend and sell when the market is dumping. So I think he's the one who talks about that, if that's the right book, adding to winning positions. Yeah, add to your winners. So that 805 level, 807 level that it was holding earlier, it got back above that. So let's see what happens here. If it continues to hold that and gets above VWAP, we might be looking at longs, because it did have a strong buy up off of that 15-minute opening range low. Or if it rejects VWAP here, then we might be going lower. Kind of just wait and see here. So 2 losses so far, not great. Let's see if we can get a winner to get back to at least break even for the day. Yeah, G-Man, I think, so the mistake I made today was I added, like, on the dump, so it made my average so much lower. My average was, like, way up here. So that's what messed me up. I think a better way to do it, I've had success with it in the past. Like last night, I can walk you through my trade last night. I did really well with it. I added on the pullbacks and I was able to continue trailing my stop loss. So my stop loss was at 0, was at break even the whole time as I continued to size up my position. All right, guys, I'm going to enter a long. So my reasoning is that's a convincing break of both of the VWAPs with volume. You can see it confirmed down here. It was holding this 807 level. It got back above that. It also defended, buyers defended that 15-minute opening range low. We also have all those orders at Bookmap, in 900 on Bookmap. Like I said, I try not to trade based on that, but that's just another confluence to add to my thought process. The main thing though is holding that 15-minute opening range low, getting back above that 807 support level from earlier, and then a pretty convincing close above those anchored VWAPs with volume to confirm it. I also like that the risk to reward is pretty clear. So 827.75. I feel like I can put my stop loss pretty much at that point where it was holding support earlier. And then target at least the initial balance high, if not more, depending on price action and how things are going. What's the goal amount for today? As much money as possible. Make it rain, baby. No, just kidding. On these top 1 futures accounts, I have a max daily profit target of 900, I think. Just based on my consistency target. But I don't think I'll get there today just because I'm trading a little bit smaller in size. For one, because of the news event. Also, my track record of Fridays not being super green days. And my first time trading live with you guys. So I didn't want to like go on tilt and do something stupid and have my very first live stream be me like blowing an account. So with all that in mind, I think my goal for today is to at least finish green. Any green, I'll be happy with that. So someone said, Johnny said it's right at the current session point of control. So I do have an indicator for that. I don't often look at the current session. I mean, I guess we are an hour into the trading, so there is quite a bit of data. I don't know. I just feel like there's not a whole lot of info to like say if that's something to trade off of, I guess. how much do you put in? So I'm actually trading with a prop firm account right now. This isn't a personal account. So on this one, I'm trading with Top One Futures. I use the $50,000 account and I do the instant funded. So with the sale, they have them, I think they're $5.99 full price, but they have a 40% off discount right now if you use code Krista. So I think it's like $350, $369, something like that. And it gives you, they call it a $50,000 account, but honestly it's $2,000 because you have a $2,000 drawdown. If you hit that $2,000 limit, then the account closes and you have to buy a new account. But it's real money. You can, after you hit at least 5 days of trading, it's a 20% consistency rule. So if you trade perfectly 5 days in a row, you can get a payout. But realistically, that's not going to happen. So, you know, within 7 to 10 days of trading, you can take a payout. Have you ever traded with prop firms, or are you familiar with them? The Take Note Marvel. So stop loss, what I'm thinking is here, right at that 805 level. Because honestly, that's the one that it was holding before, and when it broke below, it bounced right back up. If it breaks below that level again, then I'm thinking longs are not the play. I don't want to be in it anymore at that point. So yeah, this is a good question. The difference between prop firms and my own money. So if you're learning, like if you're still new to trading, you're not a profitable trader yet, I definitely would recommend prop firms. Because you can do, I'm not a big fan of paper trading, personally, because I feel like there's not a whole lot of skin in the game. I mean, it's easy to like be a winner when you're just degenning trades and you're like, I made like $6,000 paper trading. But when you have actual money on the line, your emotions come into play and you start to do stupid things. And like, you know, when there's real money on the line is different. I think it's a better test. So with prop firms, you can do it for really cheap. I mean, there's some firms out there where you can buy a challenge account for $20 or $49, $50, something like that. And there's a little bit of skin in the game, but if you blow the account, it's not like you're going to go bankrupt. So I think that's a really good way to practice when you're a new trader. I also think even if you're a profitable trader, it's a really good way to make money. It's a good thing to use prop firms because you can scale. I mean, not a whole lot of money, not a whole lot of people have, you know, $50,000 to put into a personal account because you need to have quite a bit of money to trade with to actually make good money with it. But with prop firms, for a smaller fee, like I was saying earlier, you can buy like 3 to 5 accounts and copy trade. And it's easy. I shouldn't say easy. It's easier. Like if you're a good trader, if you're a profitable trader, you can make $1,000 a day pretty simply with that. 5 accounts, $200 per account. There's $1,000 a day. So you can make really good money without risking your own money. I personally think I'll stay with prop firms for a while just because I'm not consistent enough to trust myself with my own personal money. So right now, if I have a full tilt moment and like blow an account, then it's $100 or $200 to go buy another account, which is not nothing. Like I don't want to just be wasteful and continue to do that. But blowing $100 or $200 versus my own account, if I have like $10,000 in my own account and I have a bad day, that could be a couple $1,000s that I just lost. And that's real money. So eventually I would like to get to where I can use my own money in an account, but for now I'll stick with prop firms. Yeah, so if you're like brand new to trading and you don't even know what your strategy is, you don't know what you're doing, then paper trading can be good for a couple of weeks. But once you feel like you've kind of gotten the hang of it and you know what you're doing a little bit, you know what you're looking for, I would say get a prop firm account. Buy one of the cheap evals so that if you blow the account, it's not a big deal. Whatever your budget is, you know, if it's $50 or whatever, like set yourself a budget for how many prop firm accounts you can buy in a month. Trade them slowly and use that to learn. And then eventually, once you get the hang of it, you can turn that into money that you can actually take out. This is slow, you guys. I'm really surprised. I know Fridays tend to slow down like after the lunch hour. But even like from market open, this range has been slow. Price action is slow. I feel like I'm trading the Asia session right now. Yes, so prop firms take a percentage. Most of them are like a 90-10 split. You get 90%, they get 10%. Some of them are 80-20. Some of them, they'll give you 100% of like your first 10,000. So all of them are a little bit different, but they do take a cut. And then eventually, after they've determine that you're a profitable trader, after you've taken like 3 payouts or 5 payouts, depending on the prop firm, they all have different rules, they will bring you on as a live trader. So you'll be trading real money at that point. Yeah, this is slow, G-Man. So I'm in that long that I told you guys about. Because, I mean, there was that convincing break right there of the anchored VWAP. Volume came in for a second, and then it disappeared. So I'd like to see some momentum so that maybe it can get up to those orders at 900. That's what I'd like to see. But I don't want to set my target that high right now because, I mean, it might take two hours to get there. If it just gets to that initial balance high, then we might be good. Yeah, take no marvel. That's why I think prop firms are the way to go. Unless you're a profitable trader and you have like $50,000 or more that you can put in an account. Otherwise, prop firms are a good deal, in my opinion. There's risk too. I mean, prop firms go under, they go out of business. So you could be trading with someone and like have this much money in your account and then they just close up shop. But all you're out is your evaluation fee and then the time that you spent trading that account. So I think the risk to reward on it is good. I'm going to watch and see how this trade goes. Since I'm already in a trade. If I wasn't, I probably would call it just because volume is dying. Like, look at that. There's nothing. So I have my stop loss set here at that area I was talking about that was support earlier. And then I'd like to see it go back to that initial balance high or higher. 410 orders, I think, at 21,900. But when orders are that big, a lot of times there's spoof orders, like they just get removed. I feel like something more realistic would be this like value area high area, something like that. I do trade every day. Take no marvel. I trade, yeah, Monday through Friday. I trade every day. This is the first time I've gone live though. It's pretty fun. But yeah, I do trade pretty much every day unless I'm like out of town or whatever. I don't really see much in terms of orders other than that one at 21,900. Volume is just dropped off. I don't see it having enough momentum to get up to previous day high of at 934. Which is just kind of moving sad. Looks like I'm gonna get stopped out. It is still holding above that anchored VWAP. All right, I'm gonna start setting a couple of limit profit targets. So value area high is one that I'm thinking. The top of my gray shaded box area here, a little below 900, so 895 or so is what I'm thinking. And then I'll just set a Hail Mary one at yesterday's high a day. But if it ends up being a snail's pace like this, I'll probably take it off before then. Is anyone else taking any trades in this chop? I know Susie said she got out at break even on that last one, was sitting and waiting, being patient. Have you taken anything else? What about you, G-Man? I'm gonna leave my trade on the screen so you guys can see it. I'm gonna be right back. All right, I'm back. What did I miss? All right, Susie, thanks for joining. Have a good weekend. G-Man, you said you got stopped out on a trade. Was it the short that we took? I thought you took one on that break below, or you took one somewhere in this area, and then you took full profit at that opening range low. Did you take another trade since then? Took a long. Well, I'm in a long, so hopefully I'm in the right one. Come on, do something. Can you guys hear the music that I have on in the background? I didn't want there to be like dead silence where you can hear every like roll of my chair or whatever. So I put on a little bit of like chill music in the back. There we go. All right, so there's quite a bit of wick rejection up here at like 846, 845. If we can get above that, then I feel pretty good about it. So, yep, there we go. All right, moving my stop loss here to that wick. G-Man, what are you targeting? Top of the like initial balance range? Or are you going higher? What the heck was that? Was there some sort of news that got released? That was a weird wick. Couple of my orders got hit. That went right to yesterday's value area high and rejected from there. That was like to the tick. Trump is doing Trump things. What did he say? Dude, some of these like huge reactions just off of potential news, like what was it yesterday? I don't even remember. There was some huge 1-minute candle just because they announced that Trump was on a phone call with China and that they were like talking. Can you guys imagine when they actually come to a deal with China? We're going to go to all-time highs in like 2 minutes. It's going to be insane. China grants export licenses to rare earth suppliers of the top 3 U.S. automakers. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, crazy wicks like that for some random little export license. Like, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about politics. I just know that when they actually do announce a deal, it's going to be huge. So it all kind of happened fast, but I did hit 2 of my limit orders that I had set. I have another one here up at 895, which is right below that psychological level of 900. I don't like to go all the way up to 900. I'm going to move it down actually a little bit. I did move my stop loss to break even. So we can also look for potential failed auction. So, yep, I think that's what's happening. Possible failed auction here. I do have a couple of contracts long still. kind of looking like I should reverse my position though. I'm going to go ahead and reverse it. So if you guys trade the initial balance failed auction, it was very slight, but if I move that out of the way, you can see that wick above, and now it's rejecting. Technically, for it to be like an official failed auction, you're supposed to wait for a 30-minute candle closure to be back inside the range. But you can anticipate it a little bit sometimes, because if you wait for the full 300 or the full 30-minute closure, then you can miss out on a lot of trades. So my entry is 841.50. The reason I switched my position so quickly was it was at that value area high, a good clean rejection of it. And kind of like I was saying earlier in the day, I didn't feel like even on this 15-minute opening range breakout, there wasn't a whole lot of room to run. So I didn't want to be in a long position for much longer unless we started to get some momentum, which we haven't been. I don't feel like there's enough juice to run higher. So that's why I quickly flipped and went short. I try not to do that. I tend to get tilted when I go short, long. But I feel like this switch was not based on FOMO. It was a clear rejection of that value area high, which was an area I was looking for, plus the failed auction rejection. So that was kind of my thought process there. And here we are chopping around again, holding that VWAP. Nice, G-Man. I did my the futures desk last night. That's the one that I hit my profit target on and locked it out. I am a cost trader. I'm from the US. I'm in Texas. Bye, Johnny. I did NQ last night. So let me set my stop loss and take profit on this real quick, and I'll walk you through the trade that I took. I don't know. I feel like if it goes back down to this opening range low, then it probably will break lower. It'd be cool if it would go down to VWAP. All right, so stop loss there. Take profit. I'm just gonna set it down here, but I'll scale out as the position starts to move. So last night, I took a long right at market open a couple minutes after, and I'll kind of tell you my thought process for it. Let me turn off this VWAP because it's hard to see the gap. So a lot of times on a gap, so we opened down. A lot of times on a gap, we'll like fill it and then reject, but we didn't. That's kind of what I was watching for. That's why I waited patiently and didn't enter until here. So I was kind of expecting us to like hit that gap and then reject lower just because we were so bearish all afternoon yesterday. But I ended up going long because we recaptured yesterday's low, which is often an area of support, and then continued beyond that gap fill. It just kept going. So that's why I took a long. And then this is what I was talking about, G-Man. I can actually send you a screenshot of the executions in Discord to show you how I did the like adding to my position. So I was scaling out at the highs, like scaled out here, and then it dipped. I would rebuy, scale out at the high, dip, rebuy. So I ended up making a good amount of money on this trade, and it was just a 70-point trade. But with the scaling in and out, it was a good trade. So that's what I did last night. All right, let's see how this is going. Oh, look at that. I stopped thinking about my current trade and it goes in the direction I want it to. So still holding above these VWAPs, which I can actually move this one now because that's not the high of the day anymore. It's just looking weak to me. Like all morning, it's been weak. The only powerful move that we had was here that bounced off the 15-minute, the 60-minute low, the opening range low. But still holding that VWAP. Buyers just don't want to let it go. Again, I feel like if it breaks below that 806 level that we were holding earlier, it's going to at least go down to the initial balance low. If not more, because if it broke it, it retested it once, it could go further on the next one. I mean, like, crazy Hail Mary target would be what I was talking about earlier, like retesting this gap that we got from the news candle. So at about 680, 21,680. I'm not going to count on that, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, Luna, I'm taking a short into VWAP. That's a bad idea, right? Yeah, I don't like the VWAPs on Project X. There's something wrong with them. They're not calculated right. So that was a really convincing break of VWAP, and it's getting heavy. So I'm actually adding to my position. I'm going to take a couple off at this 15-minute low here, but dang. All right, definitely putting a stop loss in profit there. And then 680 was what I was talking about with that news candle retrace. If it goes all the way down there, then I'll hit my $900 daily profit target and be locked out. I'm going to set another one. Let's go back to TradingView. Another one here at about 747, right in line with those wicks, also in line with my gray shaded area, which is that high volume area. And it's yesterday's anchored VWAP, so I'll set one there. So yeah, Luna, I do use TradingView's VWAPs. I don't like it on Project X. I don't know if it's just me, but my VWAP moves too much. Like you said, if you zoom in, it's different than when you zoom out. It's weird. All right, so I'm trailing my stop loss down, so at least I'll get some profit if it bounces up. I took another limit order, trailed out a little bit more at this yesterday's anchored VWAP. The ultimate target I could see is that 680. Like I said, retracing that news candle. And now that we're getting super heavy, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets down there. So Luna, you were asking about me taking a short when it was still above VWAP. Yes. So this was a failed auction. That's why I took it. So just barely, but there was a wick up above that 60-minute initial balance high, and then it started to reject. And we also had some confluence because this was yesterday's value area high. And it was just kind of looking weak all day. Like, I don't know. I've been wanting to short all morning. So when it finally started to move up, it rejected that initial balance high. I did get in short. I didn't really care about VWAP, honestly. Also, like I was saying on your stream yesterday, when VWAP starts to get flat like this, it's less likely to be a strong support or resistance. All right, so far, it's holding yesterday's anchored VWAP. It's getting back within that opening range low. And buyers are definitely showing up. Yeah, no, I don't mind you asking, Luna. I like being able to talk through it. So, yes, technically a failed auction, like to be a real failed auction, you want to wait for the 30-minute close. But today is a good example of it. If I had waited for that 30-minute close, I would have missed the whole move. Like, let me go to the 30-minute candle. The 30-minute is still, it hasn't even closed. There's 6 minutes and 42 seconds left for this candle to close. So if I was waiting for that closure, it already went all the way back down to that opening range low. So I would have missed that entire move. So a lot of times what I'll do is stay on the 1 minute and kind of just use my discretion. So that was my reasoning behind it, is just feeling like I wanted to take shorts all day. So that could have been part of it. Also rejecting that value area high. And then a dump from there. I felt like the risk to reward was good too. Like if I had to make my stop loss like way up here and it was a 50-point risk, then I probably would have been less likely to take it. But the risk to reward was good. I felt good about it. So I'm still in with a few contracts. I'd like to see it go lower, but it is starting to hold this opening range low. See, that's what I was talking about, G-Man, with the whole scaling out. Like, yeah, if it did continue to dump, then I would have felt good about holding some. Because I definitely would have had FOMO if I like completely exited here and then it kept dumping. But now that it's starting to go back up and it's going to hit my stop loss, which it just did. Now I'm like, dang, was I being too greedy? Should I just have taken my full profit? That's all right. So I can move this. My average was probably closer to there. But that was a winning trade. Got back into the green. So I'm up 266 right now. But now that we have some volatility back in the markets, I will probably be looking for a re-entry short. This is that 800 level that was big support earlier. It could be rejecting that, which is also in line with this high of day anchored VWAP. With that break of initial balance low, I do feel like we're gonna go lower. Also, looking at volume, this is kind of a new thing for me, but I've started to look at volume here. That dump, volume down here was high. This buy up right here, volume is low. So to me, that's not a convincing buy up. So yeah, I'm looking to re-enter short. It's just a matter of, is it going to come all the way back up to this anchored VWAP? Or is it going to reject from where it's at right now? I'll go ahead and enter there because with 3 contracts, I still have enough room to let my stop loss run all the way up to that anchored VWAP. 780.25 is my entry. So that's my entry there. Would still be cool to get that ultimate target of 680, but I don't want to be greedy and hold the whole thing down there. Stop loss, I'm looking at, really, I would like to see it not go any higher than this 805 level that we've been talking about all morning. But I do like to look at fair value gaps too, if you guys use those. So really 825 would be the top of the 5-minute fair value gap. Good entry on this recent move, G-Man? I don't know. I hope so. I hope it rejects from there. I mean, it did reject from, that's the high of day anchored VWAP, which a lot of times serves as resistance. But it could also come back up to that New York anchored VWAP. So we'll see. I do think it's going to go lower too. I really do. My thought process is that, I mean, that was heavy. That was a big dump right there. And buyers just really haven't been present much all day other than that bounce off of the 15-minute opening range low. I feel like shorts had been the play. It also had that break of the 15-minute range low, so it could technically be like a break and retest to go lower. It's just a matter of how high is it going to go. That's one thing that I struggle with is like, I think my trade idea is right, but knowing where to put the stop loss to give it enough room to actually play out. So I haven't actually placed my stop loss yet. Like I said, I would like to see it reject this 805 level that has been support for most of the morning. But I should probably give it room to run up to that New York anchored VWAP. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to put it at about 820 for my stop loss. I don't want to see it go that high though. I don't like that. But we'll see. And then I'll put this down here at 680, which was the retracement of that news candle this morning I was talking about. I'll probably set some limit orders along the way though. All right, let's see. Anyone else taking a short too? G-Man says it's going lower. Are you gonna actually put your money where your mouth is? Not yet. You're waiting for a better entry than I got, huh? Yeah, same struggle, Luna. Feeling like it's going lower, feeling like shorts are the play, but where do we put our stop loss? I sized down a little bit so I could give it room. Waiting to see how it reacts on this VWAP. Yeah. I definitely could have been patient and waited for a better entry. I think, again, I feel like shorts are the play, but I did have a little bit of FOMO with, I think it was this 1 minute candle right here, where it like almost hit that anchored VWAP and then started to reject. I was like, I don't want it to dump, knowing that like there was the dump right there. I don't want to miss it. So I think that's why I entered. And I definitely could have been a little bit more patient and waited for, I mean, that level right there initially was what I was thinking. 805, where it's been support all morning. I was like, oh, it'll probably retest that. And it did. Look at that. That's where it's rejecting. So could have gotten a better entry. All right, now that we're in, let's see where it goes. Taking a look at Bookmap, man. This might be my last trade just because there is nothing. Liquidity has dried up. Buyers and sellers are gone. Yeah, I have actually been taking my trades on screen. Taking it all live with you guys here. This is my Top One Futures instant funded account. So I'm just switching between the two. I like to do my drawings and my charting on TradingView. So that's why I've kind of been on this screen. But switching between the tabs, I have been showing you guys my trade here. So I'm in an active position. Just three contracts short. I would like to see it dump all the way back down to this 7:30 Central Time news candle, news release. But that might be wishful thinking because that's a long way down. When we've kind of been trending up all day overnight. That's been the night all up. So having there be a big dump like that, who knows? Although when I zoom out like this on that 15-minute chart, I mean, that's a pretty good support area where I have my target set at 680. And also, if you guys use the visible range volume profile, it's kind of hard to see on these shorter time frames, but there is a decent sized high volume node in this area. We just have to get past the one that we're at currently first. Oh, I forgot I turned off my overnight VWAP. Turn that back on. So on the 15-minute chart, I do like to look at that VWAP. That's the overnight, like, long-term session VWAP. So if the 15-minute candles close above it, then it's generally a good time to look for longs, or at least not short into it, which I'm doing currently. And if we're closing below it, then that would be shorts. So the reason I'm saying that is if on one of these next couple candles we close below that VWAP, then I would feel better about it going lower. Johnny says price didn't hold the upper level, and if it holds below value area high, we can go for a sweet ride to news liquidity. That's my hope, Johnny. That's the trade that I'm in right now, actually. My reasoning was the rejection of value area high, broke back below the initial balance high, so failed auction. And then targeting that news candle right around 680. We'll see. It's still above, it's holding above that 15-minute opening range low right now, which is also the initial balance low, so I could change that. It's the same level. It's holding above that, also holding above that VWAP. So if it gets below those, I would feel a little bit better about sitting in a short right now. Yeah, I heard that from Evan too, zooming out to the 15-minute chart, which I feel like I have a lot to learn from him in terms of like patience. He's really good about just waiting for a good setup and not rushing into things. So I think zooming out to the 15-minute and like waiting for the confirmation with the long-term closure is a good habit to get into. It definitely will make you miss some trades because you can't act on it fast. And the move could play out before the 15-minute candle even closes. But I think you would, like, it would pay off. It would help you prevent more losses than the wins that you would miss, if that makes sense. So, kind of getting back into that chop time where it was kind of ugly here for a while. Then we had some volatility, got a good trade there. And now we're back to could be long, could be short, who knows. It's holding that opening range low. So it could be going back up. It's holding above the overnight VWAP. But it is also, my thought for shorts is it's below the New York session anchored VWAP and it's rejecting this 805 level, which was support earlier this morning. Yeah, I like to be done by this time too, G-Man. I think we were in this trade, and I was like, oh, price action is slowing down, volume slowing down, this will be my last trade. And then that sweet initial balance rejection, filled auction set up. And then we actually had some volatility, like there was volume back in the market. So I was like, oh, let's keep trading. And then it slowed down again. So we'll see how this trade plays out. This will definitely be the last one. Since I'm in a trade, I'll stay on with you guys. Let's see how this one plays out. If I hit my stop loss on this one, I told you at the beginning of the stream, someone asked me how much money the goal is, like how much money do I want to make today? I was like, well, my daily profit target that locks me out is 900, but I don't know if I'll hit that. Just being on stream with you guys, having it be Friday, all those factors. I was like, I just want to finish green. So even if I hit my stop loss, I would still be green. I'd be like $20 in the green. Any green is better than a red day, right? If I can finish my first live stream green, I'll take that as a win. Will Evan be on with me on Thursday? I'm trading with ASFX on Wednesday. I'm not sure what your question is. And I don't know who I'm trading with. They're asking me to come on at, let me look at my message. I think it was 10 a.m. EST. What's up, Joey? Jay Morgan. That's the guy who got me into futures trading. We're actually Facebook acquaintances. We know each other from a past life. And when I owned a gym, he helped me with marketing. And he started posting about futures on his Facebook. And I was like, what's this? I'm in a short, Joey. I said I was going to stop trading, but then volume picked back up and I got excited. So I took this sweet failed auction right here. I was trailing out my profits though, so I probably should have taken full profit at the initial balance low, but I didn't. I only took partial profit, and then the rest of it got stopped out at break even. So took another short here on that retest of the anchored VWAPs, and my thought process was this 805 level that has been support all morning. It's been rejecting that, so took another short. My entry wasn't the greatest. Had a little bit of FOMO, so entered down here on that first rejection, and I could have entered a little bit higher if I was patient. Yeah, Luna, that's what I was saying. So like on the failed auctions, the initial balance failed auction, if you wait for the full 30-minute closure, you would have missed that whole move. You would have had to wait for this 30-minute candle to close to actually get the confirmation of the failed auction. And then you're right, it would have already hit the initial balance low. All right, you guys, looks like it's holding that initial balance low. We need some sellers to show up, otherwise I'm gonna get stopped out. I really don't want to see it. I mean, this is the turning point right here, this 805 level. If it breaks above that and holds above that, then I think it's going higher. That's kind of been the line in the sand all morning. Don't be easy on my interview. Come on, G-Man. I'm already nervous. And Joey said that we're gonna just wing it too. Like, he says he has an outline in his head and he's gonna like direct the conversation, but he wants to keep it authentic and like, you know, just see where it goes, see where the conversation goes. So I'm like, you're not gonna send me questions beforehand? Like, I feel like I need to study for my test. I need to prepare my script. All right, you guys, this short's not looking great. I got my stop loss up here at 820 though, because I wanted to give it room to kind of hit this anchored VWAP before rejecting. It's not rejecting though. Yeah, I'm sure the answers will be better when they're pre-planned instead of me like writing it out. It'll sound better too. I'm not liking this, you guys. Starting to get some volume behind it to the upside. And it broke above that 805 level I was talking about. This is the last line in the sand right here, that anchored VWAP. If it doesn't reject here, I am out. And that'll be my last trade for the day. I don't like this Friday afternoon slowness. I don't want to be a part of it. So a couple of you guys have asked about, am I going to start streaming? That's the plan. I have fun with this. It's a lot of fun. It's more fun than trading by myself in my office. I at least get to talk to, I feel like I'm talking to someone. Kind of talking to myself. But I at least get to hang out with you guys in the chat. So to next week, here we go. Hit my stop loss. I'm out. Next week, I'm going to be a guest on Real Deal Futures on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I'm on ASFX TV. So you can watch the Real Deal Futures one. He's on YouTube. ASFX is a paid group. So unless you're a member there, you won't be able to join in. And then after that, I'm thinking I'll start streaming here. I like it a lot. So I'll probably do Monday with you guys again. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm a guest streamer. And then start back up Thursday. And then start like full on after that, if things go well. So showing my screen, I hit my goal for the day, honestly. My goal was to not make a fool out of myself in front of you guys and like trade like a degen and just do stupid things and then finish green. It's only $24, but I'm proud of that. I feel like I took decent trades today. I didn't take any like super stupid trades and didn't finish full tilt red. So, yep. All right, you guys, I'm going to call it there. I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't already, go like the stream to spread the word and hopefully get some more viewers next week. I'll hop on with you guys Monday next week and then probably Thursday. And then the following week, I'll start more of a full schedule. Thanks, G-Man. All right. Talk to you later, guys. Have a great weekend.